Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. Crucial results last night, and NRG continue to be under fire from the majority of the Valorant community after Verno got kicked from their team not that long ago. He went on to join MIBR, and the rest is history last night. Big drama elsewhere in the Valorant world too, especially Edward Gaming, the reigning world champion, on fire as well. Very much to read your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. We'll start over there in the Chinese region. So Edward, they got the win yesterday against FPX. This was important, of course, because as we saw yesterday,
Dude, I didn't hear it though.
Won this series, that was their only ticket at that point to qualifying for the playoffs. They did not, but notably Jenny is now their full-time
Jenny
effectively. Simon, who they won the world championship with, is gone, and we now have this new player instead, and he played pretty well this series, right? 39 on the split, 13-7 on the fracture. Edward got the job done, as you might expect in their region when it matters. So, everything's now concluded in the Chinese side. Those are the final games that happened, and that leaves the playoffs looking like this. So, the two teams that were number one seeds, Edward and Billy Gaming, they get the bye to the second round of the bracket, so they, of course, advance. DRG and Trace Esports, interesting really, because Trace Esports, of course, were the other Chinese team in Bangkok. They're going to start in losers, so they have one attempt, basically, and if you want to win your stage, you have to win 1, 2.
Just forcing Tarik to. All right. I'm kidding.
2, 3, 4, 5 games from the lower round 1. Now, of course, the lower round 1 teams will play the losers of these respective games on the left-hand side. The earliest that BLG or Edward can fall into losers is for the second round of losers, and of course if you come top 3 this tournament, you qualify for Toronto, right? So I guess if you are Trace Esports, you've got to win 1, 2, 3 series. If you make it to the final, you'll be as well.
You're definitely just as corny but more self-conscious about it. This guy's a LeBron hater.
One of the top 3 teams, and therefore you'll make it, right? So it's not going to take that many series. For example, if you're Edwards or if you're BLG, you lose, you play the second round of losers, you win 1, 2 series, you'll make it to the final. That's going to be good enough to qualify for Toronto. So that's how things look over in China right now. This was another big game. Genji played Global Esports. Genji needed a big win here, and that's what they delivered. And it wasn't especially close in the end. Fox and none of the guys, they got the job done. 13-5 on the Haven, and then it was a 13-7 on the Pearl. So Global Esports go down again.
This is a nice setup for the stream, dude.
There's some big games still to come, actually. I mean, actually, we'll might as well look at the other game that's just concluded, which is Zeta versus Talon. Really important series, actually. And it's great to see Japanese Valorant back on the right track, because I think we've been wanting to see this for some time, because the fans there are just so passionate. But it was a huge win, right? I mean, Talon go down. Primi, again, no real surprise on the Waylay, and the Jet was their best player. But, yeah, Zeta just got the job done. Really a Sugar Zero masterclass here, honestly, on both of the maps. It was Zeta Division 13-4 on the Lotus, and then Sugar Zero came to play on the split, was 27-16 for a 13-10 win. So Talon go down. That makes the bracket look real interesting, actually, in the Pacific right now. So this is how it looks. The other game has just got underway. I'll show you guys how that's getting on in a second. But we've got RRQ after their surprise win against T1 yesterday at 3-1. That's the battle pretty much for the first seeds. And then we've got Zeta, Nongshim, and then Talon all at 2-2. Secret are chalked, obviously. So it's all going to come down to the wire. And Talon's next game is against T1, and Zeta play Nongshim, and then RRQ Team Secret. So RRQ will feel real confident that they can close out a 4-1 stage and be the #1 seed. But it's Talon T1, tough for Talon.
Y'all should be good. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I got to get my hours in.
Was the
y'all
one
enjoy
they needed to win. And this is a crucial series here for Paper X. They are currently leading the first map on the Ascent, 7-3, but of course, it's Ascent, pretty defensive-sided. So, you know, every round that DFM get will be beneficial for them here. Just such a huge series for Paper X because, like, I know they've started out 0-3, but it's not over for them yet. If they beat DFM and they beat Global Esports, both of those teams they could beat, they'll get through because those teams will be at the bottom there, especially after G's lost to Genji yesterday. So it's all to play for Paper X, but it's still over there, a bit of a nightmare. I think there's not too much doubt about that. And people have been talking about it quite a lot as well, about this RRQ PRX situation. But as I said at the start of the video, the big drama last night was around this EDG situation, right? So Simon is gone from the team for various interesting reasons. So there was a series of threads that came out last night some posts that were coming out of the Chinese social media platforms too. And the bottom line is that Simon was asked by the team to attend the event as their 6th man, but it doesn't seem like he's very happy being the 6th man. And maybe on some level I get it, right? I mean, you won the World Championship with these guys just to get kicked out of the team for another alternative. And now they're saying, oh, you know, come along, be the 6th man, do some content. But at the end of the day, they are paying you to be like a player, right? You are an employee. So if you don't do what they say, then unlucky, I guess. So he didn't want to attend the event and didn't want to go to the arena even as a sub. So he's going to focus on streaming and will prepare for the next few games. They'll make further decisions in Toronto. But for now, there is no doubt that he is out of the team effectively. And there was this thread that explained many of the things. So their manager went live and said that Simon himself didn't want to go to the arena with the team and didn't...
Dude, I don't know. Rob is going crazy with this shit. I'm not going to lie. Rob, listen to me, brother.
...in the promotion.
I need you to condense these videos even more. Right now it's 13 minutes. I need you to bring it down to 3 minutes. Let me try this.
Content, even though he's technically the 6th man, and therefore they will feel that he played for the rest of stage 1 and for Toronto. He'll focus on streaming. Jenny started as a duelist player originally, but to practice other agents to make it happen. It was implied that Simon doesn't want to put in this kind of effort, and so he was benched. Simon then apparently threw other teammates under the bus, saying that they also barely practice in his alleged WeChat messages. The others are working really hard, are they? Smokey also rarely practices aim. Obviously, I don't read this language, right? So like, we'll just have to take this maybe as being true. But Smokey also rarely practices aim, and he's okay, but I'm not okay. Only like I have to practice. So and then allegedly there were loads of WeChat messages with that like this. At the end of the day, if you're part of a team and you're not putting in the effort and you're not training enough, and reportedly as well, the other players, as we see, Smoggy, Kang, Chi-Chu, tuned into the stream, were interacting, sending donations, implying at least they're all on the same side, and that they prefer to move forward with Jenny and Simon benched on the team. So now it looks like Simon's publicly crashed out. He's slandered his teammates. It's all going on. So, you know, I guess for Simon, this is the champ's curse in full force. But let's talk about the Americas, right? Because these were some crucial games yesterday, and there was drama, frankly, everywhere. Starting with the first series, Crew versus Evil Geniuses. I don't know how to explain what Crew Esports are as a team, because they're a team where, when you don't expect much of them, and this, for some reason, the opposite seems true of Evil Geniuses, but like when Crew are the underdogs, and they often are, they are like, wow, these guys are nasty. They're winning series you wouldn't expect them to. All of a sudden, you've got faith, right? Wow, Crew are back. They're topping the league. They're going to be number 1 in the standings. And EG are almost the other way around, where, you know, when it looks like they're on their last legs, they somehow turn up and deliver a performance. But this was not a result that I expected at all. I mean, it's so confusing, these teams today. But Supermen put on an absolute clinic here, and this was honestly like such a must-win for EG as well. Not one that I think many were expecting them to with Crew's recent performances, but it was a 13-4 Lotus on the Crew map pick, Supermen 22 and 5, and then they won their own map pick 13-7. So honestly, an EG masterclass. Great to see for that franchise to get to this point. But for Crew, it makes things real interesting. Like, they're still fine for the playoffs. They're 3-1, no sweat. But with EG getting the win to now sit at 2-2, they're looking real nice. But what, of course, this meant is that for Loud, it's over. And that was the big drama, really, because Loud at 0-4, they could still make it. If they beat EG in their final series, Loud, then they could still have made it at 1-4 with their head-to-head tiebreakers if 2G were to go down as well. And it was to be a big tie over there at 1-4. But because EG won, then it changes the story. And there was lots of kind of implications that maybe Crew had like thrown. Like, I don't think they did, but obviously people are talking about it, aren't they? They're like, oh well, Crew have done this just to screw over the Brazilians, because Luxo says that's bizarre on some level. The manner in which they lost, people are suggesting that maybe there was a little bit more to this than met the eye. And Crew Esports to some degree were kind of leaning into it, right? They did quite a few tweets about this, about you know, GGs and everything. Obviously they can still get the number 1 seed if they win out their next series and all this. They did quite a lot of tweets really last night, and I mean they did this one that was talking about Loud. Supermen stood up today and said Loud will not make the playoffs. So you know, they're obviously leading into it, and their comment sections were full of, well, comments to say the very least. And they even tweeted this out because obviously there was some level of implication maybe that they were deliberately throwing to screw over Loud.
That's all I needed, bro. Bruno leaves NRG, joins MIBR, plays great. Redwood makes China playoffs. FPX are out. Gen G Zeta win big in Pacific. EG upsets Crew. Loud are eliminated. NRG collapse versus MIBR. True. Must beat Leviathan. True. Playoffs heating up across all regions. Thank you. Like, holy fuck. The fuck? Wait, who's Redwood?